Good evening, Prachi. Good evening, Ms. Arati, Ms. Uma, and all the representative of Anon Company. We are very delighted to have you on board today for a discussion on lifestyle management, which is a very pressing issue in current generation, especially in 21st century, where students are most of the time, bombarded with lots of priorities in terms of assessments, as well as expectations to meet from parents and elderlies, as well as their own expectations. So in such scenario, as fast run scenario, so we wanted to sit back and understand what lifestyle management is really about and how they can optimize and learn from these concepts to get the best out of their life in terms of their career, their progress in academics, as well as the passion they are pursuing. So here we go. We have invited wonderful panelists in our college today. With us, we have Ms. Arati, Ms. Prachi, Ms. Uma, and along with that, we can see the Anon global representative, I think is representing
Seema.
Ms. Seema is here with us. Thank you, Prachi, for clarifying us. So I think we've been waiting for this moment to come and have a panel discuss with such prestige panelists with us who has been expert in their own areas and specializing in their various career paths, as well as impacting the society in terms of enlightening us with various important pressing issues of our current generation. So we had a privilege to invite you earlier as well to discuss on the topic of cyberbullying. And today, once again, we are very, very delighted to have you on board. Thank you very much, Prachi, for coordinating this. Over to you. I would like to hand over to you, and we would like to express our gratitude for coming and being with us in today's evening workshop. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
So a very good evening, and thank you very much, Dakshita ma'am, for the really warm welcome. So a very, very good evening to each and every one of you. I mean, we are delighted to be here, and we are really looking forward to sharing with you, and along with you, learning what is lifestyle management. So I know lifestyle management is a topic that is really close to our hearts, and something that we really think about day and night, and we really worry about work-life balance and how to be successful along with this. So today, what we are going to do is we are going to focus on three aspects. The first one is self-care, second one is stress management, and the third one is diet and nutrition. And the other aspects will be unfurled in the sessions that we will be having with us henceforth. So thank you once again, and we will now begin. Over to you, Prachi.
Thank you, Mama, and good evening, everyone. It's a pleasure being here. Well, before we start our session, I would request you all to open another window in your laptops and go to the site menti.com. I'll put it on the chat box as well. Yes, menti.com. And while we are taking this session, there would be a couple of codes which will be coming up, and based on that, we would like your polls. And it would be really nice if you all, log in there and give your polls so that we can have a very good discussion. So menti.com. So now, before we start our session, let's understand what is life. Because if we see, suppose there are, a lot of jigsaw puzzle pieces lying on the floor, and we don't know the picture, and we can't refer to that picture through which we can make that jigsaw puzzle. What do? You pick up two pieces, try to fit them together and see whether they fit or not. Sometimes they would fit and sometimes they won't fit. If they fit, you move further and you start building the puzzle. So similarly in life, you try things and see if they are good in your life or not. If they're not, then you let it go and then try and do something else. So this is how our life goes on. Now, as you build the puzzle, you can see some picture being created. However, the rest of the picture is still blur, but you can visualize, you can have a vision that this is what I want, this is what I think it will be. Like we can see here, there's a tree which is formed through those pieces, but we don't know what is besides the tree. We just visualize probably there would be grass and sky, but it's quite possible it turns out to be a car. So we might visualize our goals in life. However, we don't know whether we will reach that goal while we are trying to fit those puzzles together or not, because there would be uncertainties in life that might come up, like a pandemic right now. You know, many of the dreams have changed because of this. Many of things have changed because of this. So similarly in life, we have to put things together. However, we have to be sure, you know, we have to take care of things which might just come in and you might change your picture that you saw, you know, probably years back. It will keep changing. So these are the elements I feel are most important for your life, your family, your health, your friends, maybe love, your job, and so on. So now let's move on to an activity to menti.com and type this code 6978093. I'll put it in the chat box. It's 6978093. And please write, what are the main elements of a good lifestyle for you all? You have to go to menti.com. Once again, I'll type it for all the attendees as well. It's menti.com. And the code is 6978093. You can try to put words like life, family, love. What is it that you want in life? And that'll all reflect here. Very good. Family. Yes, one of the person said family. Okay, work. Absolutely. Friends. Come on, everybody, just type something and let's see what are your elements. Good personality, absolutely. You have a stress-free life if you feel good about yourself. Prosperity. Life partner, absolutely. Half of your life is, you know, happy if you have a good life partner. Love and support, health. So we can see self-confidence, joy, breath. So these are such beautiful things that, you know, build up our life. So this is what lifestyle is about. You have to put all these puzzles together and, you know, make a beautiful life. So let's move on. And now Ms. Aarti will tell us about self-care, because if we do not care about ourselves, we'll not be able to build our life.
I was muted. Okay. Thank you very much, Prachi. It's so nice to see the choices of our attendees who are preferring what kind of lifestyle or what are the things that are needed. But the most important thing that I feel is self-care, because we tend to, at times, we tend to ignore ourselves. And in the hustle bustle of life, we tend to focus on priorities of life, forgetting the fact that we are our biggest priority. Working after ourselves is most important aspect of life. We think that if we take care of ourselves, then it might the people might think that we are selfish. So it's very important to understand that self-care is something, if you are not harming others, but you are taking care of yourself, and once you are happy, then only you can make the others happy. So we should remember that only if we are happy and full, we can pour our happiness and positivity in the surrounding. For example, I have this cup. Okay, this cup, you can imagine, if it is not filled, it's empty. So I cannot pour this cup on to the other glass and share the things. It's very important. Now we can imagine, because we are talking about mental health a lot. So a lot of things depends on our imagination. Let's imagine this cup is our cup of happiness. Let's fill this cup. Let's fill ourselves with happiness, and then only we can share our happiness with others. If we are not happy, we are all the time stressed, then it is very difficult. We cannot share the happiness to the world. So we are looking for that happiest world. So first, self-care comes as a priority for everybody, so that they can look for the beautiful world outside. So love yourself. And it's not, I believe me, it's not the selfish, at times the people are saying. No, not at all. You are working for society, because you are filling your thoughts with the positive thoughts that you are spreading to the world. Can we move next? Yeah, Prachi.
Yet again, we have another Menti meter which we have set. And let's hear from you all what you all do for your self-care. There are a lot of options. You can select more than one option and tell us what you do for your self-care. This time, the code is 74. I'll write it on the chat box. Yeah, this time, the code is 7459737. If you put this code, you'll get a lot of options that usually people do for for self-care. Like they'll drink water, they do kitchen gardening, they do meditation. So what do you do for your self-care? You have to select the options. You can select more than one, all of them, whatever you feel. Okay, so meditation and yoga class, absolutely perfect. I think that gives you calmness. So we have take 5 minutes, decompress every day.
Actually, this pandemic has made people understand the importance of meditation, I feel.
Meditation, yoga, health. I think everybody has understood that it's very important. So meditation has taken the most of
the replies. Yeah.
Yes, I think meditation and drink some water first thing in the morning. Yeah, that's right. You know, it detoxifies you.
The replies and responses are interesting.
Very interesting and incredible. I mean, it's very nice to see such participation from everyone. So perfect. So this is what you all do for your, self-care. And remember, it's very important to take care of yourself. It's not being selfish at all, as Miss Aarti said. It's about, taking care of yourself without harming others. So how can it be selfish? Selfish is when you do something for yourself and, in the process, you are putting something down. So we're not doing anything like that. We're just taking care of ourselves, and it's absolutely all right to do that. So Aarti, let's go.
So when we're talking about self-care, there is next step, how to. So how to is to follow the 3 golden principle that we are showing. So the 3 golden principle says, first principle is how you are utilizing your early 1 hour when you are getting up. If we go scientifically, this 1 hour should be broken up into 3 parts. That is 20 minutes plus 20 minutes plus 20 minutes. First 20 minutes, you should be doing very high intensity exercise, more of stretching. Why exercise? Because since childhood, we are being told to do exercise, but the reason behind is the endorphin hormone that are released when we sweat, and we feel happy because of these exercises, and there is a hidden mental health happiness behind it. So it's very important to go for exercise, yoga, or any kind of dance that you feel is your part of your lifestyle. Next 20 minutes is your introspection, that is reflection. You should be visualizing what are the 3 things or 5 things on priority that you will be doing in a day. So if you are visualizing, start writing also. Maintain a to-do list where you will be writing, because when you are writing, you are actually making yourself understand that you have to follow this, whatever you are writing. Next 20 minutes is very important, that is growth. So you need to follow your passion, calm your mind, read books, whatever you feel like you are interested in. If you want to develop a good habit, we will be telling you about how to develop that that habit also. So it's very important you to utilize 1 hour of the day for yourself, and then look for the beautiful world outside. Can we move next? So when we are talking about self-care, we are talking about, okay, everybody wants 100% happiness. And that is possible when we are conquering our 4 interior empires. What are they? First is the mindset. Whatever, you should be having a growth mindset, not the fixed mindset, because fixed mindset restrict you from that 25% happiness that you may be gaining. So it's very important to look a bigger picture of the world around and inside. So good and growth mindset is the key. Then emotional set, that says that your good relationship with the people, obviously people around may be negative, maybe making rumors about you, whatever, doesn't matter, because you know how to self-care. So it's very important to have good relationship with friends and enemies also, because you are looking for your happiness. Then comes the health set, where you should, most of the time our life is spent on buying luxury things or house or whatever, but at the cost of health. That should not happen. That is why I said utilize your early morning in heavy exercise or brisk walking, because that make you health set, that gives the 20% of the happiness to you. The fourth and the last important empire is the soul set. Soul set, during this pandemic, people have understood the importance of this soul set. Many of you, as you have replied here about meditation, many of you have actually realized the importance of meditation, the importance of calmness, the importance of self during this being socially distant. This is what the spirituality you have understood, the soul within, what your soul is saying, that you have understood during this. So thank God that we have become more mature with these kind of understanding of what actually life is calling for. We have good environment around, so we have good people around. We have seen, we are an NGO, we have seen people are coming for help to their 100%. They are saying, okay, we want to work for the society. So all our whole team is working for that. So it's very important. There is a drastic change in the mindset of people because of this. Can we move next? So we are actually gaining 100% of happiness with all these 4 empires. So I was talking about habit installation protocol, 21 days. any child, any old person who want to develop a new habit, you actually require, if you work mindfully, it requires 21 days to develop this installation protocol. In the first week, what happens? It's a destructive phase where you find the things, a new habit, very, very difficult. For example, in your these college students, they might be joining the gym and all that. In 1 week only, they get exhausted and do not want to go. Or you want to develop a habit to read new books. Then in 1 week, you may feel it's a destructive phase. It's the most difficult phase, but no worries. Be consistent. We will be talking about consistency also in this session. Be consistent, move to stage 2, which is second week. On the second week, you will feel that I am frustrated out of it and want to quit. No. Train your mind that you have to complete these 21 days, because there are, it has been seen, 80% of the people find it very interesting as soon as they reaches to the third stage, because third stage is known as integration phase. This is the most easy phase where you actually find that you are able to achieve this new habit. So 21st day of soon after 21st day, 22nd day, you have that positive feeling about learning something new, irrespective of the age. You might not be saying, okay, I might had learned in my childhood. No, it's not the age now. Anybody can learn anything at any time. So it's just the habit that you need to develop. Can we move next? Over to you.
All right. So we understood the three, golden principles through which we can take care of ourselves and stay happy. However, we know that the world is not so great and there are always reasons to stress yourself. This word stress has become a millennial word, and I think each one of us, the students or even the youngest of children, are getting stressed these days. So this is something that it doesn't leave us, everybody is going through stress. So let's now again go to menti.com and type the code, the same code which was given earlier, and you all have to choose the things that stress you the most. So there are options there. You can pick more than one options, and yes. So here it is. It's the same code that we used previously. You can choose the things that stress you the most. They can be more than one as well. So it can be the absenteeism, salary reduction, job burnout, internal politics, behavior of students. If you are, the faculty members would understand that. Job performance, work-life balance. Yes, that's something that stresses us the most. And yes, because of the pandemic, I think times of uncertainty has picked up the highest stress levels, because yes, these are unprecedented times and we are going through a lot. So it'll all end soon. Let's be positive. So job burnout, internal politics, work-life balance, group cooperatives, times of uncertainty, these have picked up the maximum stress levels. And yes, job performance, that always stays. So now we have Ms. Uma Balan, who would, elaborate a bit about stress and stress management, with lovely examples. So let's go ahead, Ms. Uma.
So thank you so much, Ms. Prachi. So just like Ms. Prachi had said, that stress management is really a very important factor, which I think it's a skill we need to develop nowadays. And as Ms. Arti had said, self-care is so important. And I feel that stress management definitely comes under self-care, because how we manage our stress completely depends on us, the initiative we take. So let's have a look at this law, the Yerkes Dodson law. I'm sure many of you have heard about this, but let's together understand. So what does the Yerkes Dodson law state? So research says that performance increases with the physiological or mental stress, but only up to a point. When the level of stress becomes too high, then performance starts decreasing. So different tasks need different levels of stress for optimal performance. So let's try and understand what research is trying to tell us. So if you see this picture, there is this gentleman, very calm, very, he's totally untroubled by the fact that he has got his deadlines to meet. He's probably also bored. But then, by the time he starts thinking of the project deadlines, he starts moving. So when he starts moving, he starts taking action, he starts seeing improvement. And as he starts working, gradually from a calm state, what happens? He reaches the stage of eustress. Eustress or good stress. That means it's a level of stress that is good for any human being to be able to bring out his or her maximum potential. So the optimal performance, as you can see in the yellow area, is when you are focused on your job, you are energized, you are so happy with the work you are doing. And when you are happy, when you are joyful, whatever inputs you put in, you do it very effortlessly, because you don't even realize how much of effort or time you're putting in. And the results are also phenomenal. Now, what happens if the stress goes beyond the eustress? That is when we are touching the red zone area. So exhaustion, fatigue, breakdown, burnout increases as the stress level increases. And what happens? The worst, that is, it starts affecting your health. So physically and mentally, we have a burnout, we start suffering, and that is what is a matter of great concern. So what is the learning that we have from the Yerkes Dodson law? That please let us work during this period of eustress, which will enable us to be able to give our optimal performance when we are happy, when we are joyful with all the output that we are giving, and see phenomenal results. Now, moving on, now that we have seen how to really work in the optimal area, let us have a look at the time management quadrant. The first quadrant, it talks about those tasks or those areas of our life which are urgent and important. So they are a necessity, like project deadlines, emergencies, last minute preparations. But now I would like to ask ourselves a question. Why do we have to find project deadlines as urgent and important? Why can't we meet our deadlines well before the deadline? Can we do proper planning? Can we no longer have project deadlines as urgent and important? They are important, I understand, but do they need to become urgent for us? Emergencies, I understand. If there is something which has really happened beyond our control, it is understandable. Otherwise, having a good plan, for example, we are all educators. So when we walk into the classroom to our students, how well prepared are we? Do we do last minute preparation? Or are we so well planned that there is no need to have an urgency? Now let's have a look at the second quadrant. It says urgent, but not important. So deception. Now, I'm sure we all love to attend our friends and relatives' weddings, but are these marriages or so-called functions or weddings, are they really so urgent that we need to, overlook all the important areas of our life, which probably we have not been able to cover due to lack of planning. Low priority messages. For example, do we have to instantly respond to messages on WhatsApp? Do we have to instantly respond to messages on our social media? Not really, unless it's work related. So we need to be very clear as to how to draw a very good line, a clear line between our work and our personal performance. So I know now during the pandemic, we are doing workshops, we are doing trainings, all virtually. So it becomes a very big integration of personal and home affairs. But let's be very clear, we need to have a very professional attitude, even if we are working from home, or even if we are taking classes online. Now let's move on to the next quadrant. Waste, avoid, not urgent, not important. So what comes over here? Very interesting. I have time on my hand. I'm getting bored. Or I have time. Come on, let me refresh my mind. What do I refresh my mind with? Surfing the internet without purpose? So are we really so concerned, or do we have so much time that we want to see how is Mukesh Ambani really receiving his grandson into the family? Is that really so important for us? Are we effectively utilizing our time? Watching TV for hours on social media, on Netflix. Personally, I feel Netflix is really very addictive. Once you start seeing these amazing movies, who wants to get up, and that too in the cold winter days? Not at all. So let's have a look at the last quadrant, which is of great significance. Not urgent, important. Yes. What we need to do is gain knowledge. We don't feel it's important because whether we agree or not, we reach a stage where we feel, I know a lot. So we start, we stop thinking of how to really grow further. And I think growth, learning is a never-ending process. So can we create that time to be able to increase our knowledge? It could be reading books, it could be even watching a very educative movie. Exercise, health, very important. As we have heard, mental and physical state has sanity, I should say, needs to be retained, especially in these times of pandemic. Recreation, why not? When we are working hard, we need to also relax. We need to recoup. We need to recoup physically, mentally, and spiritually. So let's do that. And what will happen? When we gain knowledge, we exercise, we have recreation, then obviously our productivity, our success levels are going to increase. It will become a win-win situation. So coming on, let us see how we get success in life. To get success in life, I would like to reiterate this fact. Let's increase the quality of our time available where we can gain knowledge, exercise, take care of our mental and physical state, also recoup, and finally execute a win-win performance agreement. That means we work hard and we relax hard and we learn hard. So we do not regret that we have wasted any moment of our lives. Now let's have a look at how we can really overcome procrastination. Procrastination. I'm sure we all know the meaning of this term, procrastination. It is the act of delaying or postponing a task. This term, I'm sure we all know, comes from a Latin word, procrastinatus. And do you know that those who procrastinate are actually perfectionists. Yes, perfectionists. We want things to be done perfectly. And when we start doing a task and we feel that, oh, time is short, what do? We start procrastinating. We say, all right, I will not do the job today. Time is short. I'll do it tomorrow because it needs to be done perfectly. Does that tomorrow ever come? That is a question we need to ponder upon. So please let us understand what we plan to do tomorrow. Let's do it today. Let's do it now, this very moment. Now let's have a look at this graph. The first figure says we start a task and we bring it up to productivity. In other words, we start seeing results. But then when we see that, oh, it can be done tomorrow. Oh, it's going to take too much of time. No, I can't finish it so well in this short span of time. What happens? Then the slope goes down, and there we can see the slope of procrastination, and that continues. It becomes what? It becomes an attitude. So we need to be very careful and beware of this devil, which is procrastination. Now look on the right side. Very nice. So here we start a task, we bring out productivity, until the end of the task, what do? We believe in consistency. So the key element here, as you can see, is consistency. We should not be overproductive one day and underproductive the next day, unless, of course, you are unwell or for health factors which are beyond our control. But believe me, even that, if we stretch ourselves, even we don't know what kind of potential and energy is there in a human being. So now, since we have understood how we need to overcome procrastination and we need to keep up the key element of consistency, let us see how we can de-stress ourselves using the mental clock. Mental clock. So to live a fruitful life, we need to have physical health, we need to have mental and emotional well-being as well. All these are equally important. Let us look at what we are showing, a sliding bar. So let us focus on the present. Let us focus on the current, on today, on this very moment. Am I doing my best at this very moment? This is the kind of conscious effort that we need to put in. Past. What is past? Past is a memory. It's there in our subconscious mind. And what do we usually do as human beings? Do we like to remember and have pleasant memories? No, we always think of what people have not done for us. So we become miserable. We become mentally disturbed. That affects us physically. So what happens? That affects our present. It affects our current consciousness. And that in turn affects our output. So if you want to think of past, do so. But please keep pleasant memories that are really going to be an impetus for you to move forward in the present. Future. Who knows about the future? Did you and I know that we are going to be in the pandemic? Did we know we are going to have this wonderful webinar during the pandemic times? No one knew. So the future is nothing but in the subconscious mind and imagination, which does not mean you shouldn't have goals. You must have, and you must work towards it. But even to achieve those goals, we need to actually keep our entire focus on the present. Now that we have understood how to de-stress using the mental clock, let's understand from Miss Seema how diet and nutrition can really help us to be able to make ourselves even healthier and stronger physically and mentally. Over to you, Ms. Seema.
Seema, unmute.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. You have so wonderfully explained how to de-stress. Actually, I was looking at it. I was getting de-stressed myself with the passage of time. Actually, nutrition have always been a very important part of our physical beings. But during pandemic, we understood the very important role of nutrition in mental health as well. Reason being because during pandemic, everybody was locked inside their houses. They were not in contact with any physical contact with any person outside. So everything, because obviously when you are when you're living normally, so you go out, you shop, you go to malls, so you de-stress yourself like this. You have a wonderful food outside and you buy of food, so you get de-stressed, you buy of fruits and vegetables and all that what you want. But ghar mein, inside the house, and you're locked in, so that was taking toll over everybody. Nutrition actually plays very important role in mental health. We will be discussing that in some points and what we can take care with do's and don'ts. The first and foremost thing is we should eat real food. That is very important. The fruits and vegetables and the cereals that are required. We shouldn't go for a processed and packaged food, basically, because they all the packaged food have got preservatives and additives in them. In those all these preservatives and additives, they influence brain very effectively, because at times they become hyperactive, our brain becomes hyperactive, and at times it becomes depressive with these preservatives. Another point which I want to discuss is we should include the good serving of fiber in the food rather than the refined foods or the sugars for the consistent supply of the glucose in the blood for the betterment of our health of the brain. And also very important thing which I need to bring into the notice, because obviously we know about the brain, what is in our head, but the brain that is in our gut, we don't keep much check on that. We need to understand the probiotics, which are very important, which play a very important role in the gut microbiota, that actually helps us to get more of the nutrients absorbed in our body, in the blood, so that we can physically and mentally get a better results and get a good performance. Another thing with this good microbiota, many happy hormones are released in our brain, which we call them, which are dopamines and serotonins, which are very important for us, because they brings us zeal in ourselves to do good things in life, to be positive in life. Another thing which this pandemic has taught us is to need to detoxify our bodies, because obviously with the accumulation of so much of stress levels, we get toxified with food as well as the negative thoughts. So detoxification is very important part. Vitamin C, vitamin A, and vitamin E. These are very good antioxidants which should be included in the diet for detoxifying ourselves. And the very important part that obviously the water, which is always forgotten thing, that we call in our nutrition as a forgotten nutrient. That water plays a very important role. The hydration part plays a very important role because it gives a good rush to the blood. Actually, our head is in our brain is works against the gravity. So to bring those nutrients in the brain, we need to have a good rush in the blood. So for that, we need a very good hydration. At least 2 liters of water should be taken on daily basis. And the very important thing which we need to consider is we shouldn't skip meals, because many times people, they due to their work profile or due to their any due to their diet, they don't eat meals or they skip meals. So one shouldn't skip the meals and should have a consistent supply of glucose so that we are energetic throughout the day. It's not that, as Uma ma'am also told, at one point of time we have energy at this level and one point of time we have enthusiastic at this level. So exactly the same goes with the glucose as well. We should have a consistent level of glucose so that we are energetic throughout the day and we are performing from morning till night with the same zeal as we do in the morning. We go by that in the evening as well. And secondly, what actually, when we are stressed out, we have inflammations in our body. So to take care of those inflammations, we need to understand about some phytochemicals also, which play a very important role. Like in turmeric, we have curcumin, we have ashwagandha, we have shankpushpi. These herbs, these actually help for the brain, and they actually calm down the brain. Like chamomile tea, like green tea, these actually relaxes and calms your mind and gives an energetic mood. And last but not the least, caffeine and alcohols, which are very detoxifying. We should be mindful in consuming those. We should have at least, we should take just 1 or 2 cups of, or 1 or 2 pegs of alcohol. That is, I think, not more than that is should be suggested for the good health purpose. And the last but not the least, the breathing thing, the oxygen part, the breathing exercises should surely be included in the lifestyle, so that we can take good amount of oxygen and expel the carbon dioxide, which is a toxic thing in our body. So doing all these things, taking good amount of nutrients and expelling the toxicity makes a lot of difference for the performance of our mind and physical as well. So for the concluding part, I will say we should include balanced food, including all nutrients at a regular interval for proper functioning of body, both physically as well as mentally. Thank you so much.
That's a wonderful explanation, Seema, and I'm sure that everybody who's listening would understand that nutrition is not just about your immunity, it's also about your mental health. And I think if we have a good mental health, our immunity will automatically increase. So it's very important in this pandemic to ensure that we are mentally fit, because if we are mentally fit, we'll be able to overcome everything that comes, even the virus. So we need to be mentally fit. Now, to conclude, I have this beautiful story, because we heard about self-care, about stress management, about diet and nutrition. So even if you take care of all of these things, you can't stop the negativity, the feelings, which come in your mind all the time. So what we need to do is fill those fill your heart and mind with positivity, with positive thoughts. Like you can see a broken, bowl here. And in Japan, they mend these broken bowls with gold so that they shine and look more beautiful. So in the same way, whatever is there in your mind and heart, all the negative thoughts have to be filled with positivity, so that in all you shine out in life. No matter what happens, no matter how many pandemics happen, we should always stay positive and fill ourselves with positivity and shine out. So this is what we should do. And now I would like to open the forum for any questions. You can write on chat box.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
While Seema was discussing, I was thinking that it's very important that we should not be waiting for our thirst. Usually it has been seen that people are waiting when they are thirsty, then only they are drinking water. Since our body is having 70% of water, it's very important that when this water we are losing this water, we are not aware of. So it's very important that before you feel thirsty, you should be having the water. And that is what our skin and our body organs need, that equal amount of water, because lot of these winters, they are actually impacting our skin. So when it is hydrated, it is good to have a healthy skin. We have the confidence also. Am I right, Seema?
Yeah, true, very true. Actually, that's why in our nutrition, we call it a forgotten nutrient, because we don't think of it as a nutrient.
Yeah.
Because obviously, as you told, it's rightly said, ki, 75% of our body is water. So we need to replenish it all through the day, and at least consume 2 to 3 liters of water. And I think during winters, 1 liter of water, if one consumes, that is a very big deal for everybody.
And it's very important
Yes.
that teachers and professors often tend to leave this water aside, because they are more focused on teaching and all that. Me being a teacher also, I have that kind of thing. Okay, let me have water later. Let me teach my students. So this is something that everybody has to understand.
I think it goes for both things, no? Because I think we should not actually wait for feeling hungry. We should, make a schedule to eat right at the right times. Because when you feel hungry, you end up eating, a lot of stuff that give you, instant energy. So we should not wait for even getting hungry, I think.
Including
Actually,
junk
there is
food.
one more thing.
Including
Actually,
junk food.
people
Yes.
think of thirst as a they want to eat food, so they end up eating food in winters rather than taking water.
Glass of water.
So
Yes.
that is confused, because our hypothalamus works for thirst as well as the food. So we take the wrong signals, basically.
Yes, it was very insightful. In fact, like ma'am, beautifully, I think we've covered what a beautiful session on lifestyle management, especially for the young students. We tend to think, or most of the time, students are always rushing to complete the assignments and, like classwork, so on and so forth. But they tend to forget that, most of the time we realize that lifestyle can be managed when we are in the next phase of life. For example, when we have a job, and then we start to procrastinate this beautiful, mindset of implementing early on. And today, the information that was covered in our presentation in this particular panel session really covered from, health, first and foremost, taking care of oneself. Most of the time, we ignore that. We are always driven by expectation of somebody else, and we are most of the time just rushing and fulfilling somebody else's expectation, and rather than, looking into ourselves and trying to understand what I'm really trying to achieve and how I can do best. And then in the presentation, ma'am, Aarti ma'am really wonderfully explained about emotional health set and soul set priorities as well, and importance of meditation. And then also I found so interesting about Uma ma'am's presentation in terms of like how we balance our, overall stress and time management quadrant. And this is exactly what our students and faculty is looking, really trying to understand what is giving us more stress. Is it the environment, pressure from the work, and what are the dimensions of stress that is creating uneasiness? And that was also so beautifully explained in terms of time management quadrant. What is important? What is our priority? What is in, what is the quality of, the quality of aspects in terms of activities that we can install in increase our productivity and quality in terms of not urgent, but is very important for the long life term, and sometimes we just forget this. We just move on in the day-to-day activity, but we really forget on how to improve the quality of our, our personal development. So that was also so beautifully expressed, that we can take home. I think everybody here, we can take home on that. And also the performance management quadrant that you talked about, especially like how to be focused and energized. That dimension was also really, if we think through it, so in terms of consistency, in terms of not, like that is where most of the procrastination we want to do best. And really it was, for me, I could not have agreed more. Most of the highly creative people are the highest procrastinator. So I absolutely agree, and we want to do our best. We wanted to, like make it perfect, and then such, like the procrastination keeps on moving on, and that avoidance of for tomorrow. So consistency to maintain every single day we are finishing certain tasks. That's came out to be such a strong point here. And last but not the least, Seema ma'am, you mentioned about the importance of diet, especially we at young age, especially our students, like we go by with the flow. We love junk foods. We love aerated drinks. Most of the time we do not think what we are consuming is impacting on the mind and our mental health, and how our overall in terms of positivity and energy is impacted by what we consume, and especially highlighting the importance of water in this, especially really you brought out so wonderfully in this COVID lockdown situation. We hardly think of like what we want to just consume food, and we love cooking. We wanted to like taste different variety, but really balancing our diet that triggers our mental development, our our positivity, as well as to be well-being and to be a performer, to like to achieve certain focused activity. Also importance of diet was beautifully expressed. We really enjoyed this session, and if there is any questions, so we had asked our students to put up any questions, but I do understand the pressing of time, so we do understand, like we are already running out of our time frames. So on behalf of Itahari College, we are very thankful to you for sparing us your valuable time, for coming out all the way from India and sharing your valuable insights to us. We are very thankful to you and grateful to you, and hopefully next in upcoming days also we would be able to invite you in more of these sessions, and which is beneficial for our team as well as our staff, and we definitely look forward in such collaboration in the future as well. Thank you very much, Aarti ma'am, Prachi ma'am, Uma ma'am, Seema ma'am. Hope to see you soon.
Sure. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
See you soon. Yes.
See you soon. Take care. Thank you.